Alright, so welcome back to Monday Morning Mooks. We're continuing to talk to everyone in town. Alright, so I mentioned that I'm a very OCD player last episode. Even if I'm not enjoying a game, if they put a whole bunch of things you have to collect, I have to collect them. And I think it's safe to say that Mike's the same way, right?
Pretty much.
That's why you're the best color man in this Let's Play business, Mike. Mike also, this is the one thing I worried about, as we get a little later in the night as we're recording these, because Mike gets, this superhuman level of focus in games that he's playing to the point where, he stops talking for a little while. And, just so you know, Mike's actually still the one playing this game. I have not played this game at all during these episodes. And so if Mike goes silent, it's not, oh God, these things are a species. These horrible creatures. I think this is with all the sort of anime creatures, I can't decide if they're cute or if I need to murder them with my bare hands. They run that line. Oh, ow, my ankles! My precious and beautiful dancer's ankles. But yeah, so if Mike goes silent, but like I was saying, Mike is OCD too, and in the last episode they introduced this system of being able to talk to random NPCs who don't look like they're anything special, like Desiree. I think that's one. Isn't that one too many accent marks on that?
I'm not gonna judge.
All right, so we're talking to Desiree. I'm terrible with machines, even little ones like this. What is she pointing at? I feel like I could make a crude joke, but as we say every episode, we're not going to be exactly like Game Grumps. Which is okay, we like Game Grumps. Wasn't your father good with machines?
Coming on to me?
Come on, Desiree! But yeah, they introduced the system of these NPCs that look just like every other Colony 9 resident, only after you talk with them a while, you gain friend points with the... We're going to call them friend points, because I forget what they're actually called. So, I have a feeling this is going to end with Mike talking to, Desiree every, 30 seconds to see if he can up his friend points, and we'll never actually see what happens in this game.
Oh, so it's fixing her watch, okay.
Alright, so you're fixing her watch.
Apparently I have a lab.
Yeah, they mentioned the lab in one of the other episodes, didn't they? I assumed, you get, your workbench to, combine items and things, but we haven't found it yet. Take all.
You're not going to get your watch back, I'm sorry.
I'm just taking this. I don't like your name at all. Alright, am I talking through it, or do some of these guys have voice acting and some of them don't?
Well, I've noticed that they all seem to... This doesn't seem very safe, just saying.
Why are there rails on everything else?
But, no, I think they have, some of them have that, the quintessential, I'm gonna say that one line, hey, how's it going?
Thank you. That remains one of my favorite characters. Alexi. You know what? I have a feeling you're going to run into, a guy named James, and that's going to seem ridiculous to us when it happens.
Yeah.
What kind of name is that?
Let's... Really, game?
What exactly are they loading here? Oh, okay. The friend points apparently very... Oh, well, he's an estranged free thinker. So that means serial killer, right? So it's a free-floating thing? You get, every picture of every NPC and you could float onto them to see how much they like you?
I guess so, but another thing, too, is I'm noticing time active, so I guess the...
Oh, it's in real time. You know what? I'm kind of liking the extra features on this game, even if the core gameplay has not done anything to win me over yet.
Yeah, I mean, it should be interesting to see. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of, I mean, you haven't really been playing it, but I feel like there's definitely potential,
Yeah, a lot of these, there's an aspect...
Gem Man.
Oh, hey, you found the Gem Man stall. Apparently, you know what? He might not be home. Apparently, this works like. Oh no, wait, there's Gem Man. How come Gem Man looks like Riku from that other Final Fantasy game I hate? But oops, that stuff's too complicated. But yeah, like there's an aspect to JRPGs that they tend to do very well, and it's something that Extra Credits called abnegation. By the way, if you guys haven't seen Extra Credits and you want to talk about game design, I think those guys are fantastic. And I don't always agree with them. In fact, I can't think of a couple of key times that I really disagree with those guys. But it's a show. It's right now it's through Penny Arcade TV, which is way more popular than we'll ever be. So you've definitely heard of that if you managed to talk to us. But talk to us because they're talking directly to us. I'm that guy who, when he hears the voicemail, says like, "Tell Mike." But yeah, if you've heard of us and you're watching us, then you've definitely heard of Penny Arcade and probably seen Extra Credits. But if you haven't taken the time to watch them and you're interested in these discussions on game design and like what makes games enjoyable, go to that. Because I think those guys, one, it's written by legit designers and legit developers, more legit than we are, in fact. And they really, even if I disagree with them at times, like as far as like establishing, like teaching you what the industry terminology is for things and like how people talk about them, and also establishing some, because I'm pretty sure they coined the term abnegation referring to what I'm about to talk about. If they didn't, then they're the first one I heard use that. But these JRPGs have that, like that sort of like the gameplay that it's not exciting, it is low key, there's a lot of micromanagement and customization, and you do it just to turn your brain off. And like I think that's something that like me as a hardcore action Kenny, all right, this is what I predicted. This is the end of the world. This is how my brain pops. You got Oleski and Dunab and She-Hulk and Rin with 50 Ys and Desiree and Kenny.
But in there, I mean...
And how come he's the only one with a full name? I'm talking about Kenny Rowan.
Yeah, but in their defense, his last name is Rowan. I mean...
Well, like, now for Wrath and for a Red Dawn, Red Nightfall, however that goes. Some nerd's gonna correct me some nerd, like we're not horribly nerdy. Kenny Rowan! He's an artistic genius, and he's the only guy with a normal name. And he's one of the Homs.
And apparently he's only sleeps for... like, what is that?
Okay, so that's from 21 to 18, so that means from 18 to 20. He only sleeps 3 hours a day. All right, I think we met our first serial killer here. Like, I made jokes about the other free thinkers being like code for serial killers, but the artistic genius that only sleeps for 3 hours a day, he definitely meets women and butchers them. And his name's Kenny. I completely... Oh yeah, abnegation. So like that sense where you can just sort of turn your brain off. And I think like that is a winning quality of JRPGs. And like when I talk about the pantheon of great games, I mentioned things like Bayonetta and Devil May Cry 3 and Ninja Gaiden 2 and games where you really have to be on.
Wait.
Maybe next time I'll choose a man who's not a soldier or a saint.
So wait, she's actively putting down the man she's currently next to.
Well, if you'll notice, he disappears into the ether when you're talking to him. Oh God, what happened to me? Oh God. I like how she has a name and like personality traits, and he's member of Colony 9. It's like, I wonder if he's gonna get dumped. Alright, so as far as I can tell, the only way to tell the difference between these horrible monsters is the color of their vests.
Oh, I guess when you...
Oh, you gain for explore... This really is a lot like single player WoW. But yeah, that idea that you could just turn your brain off and do things and like watch numbers go up. Like, I think there is sort of an advantage to that. Like the games where you really have to be on, sometimes I don't feel that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna agree with you on that one. Like, there's the games that are out there that it has to be that good balance, you know? You can't, like, if a JRPG requires you to constantly be keeping track of every little thing, it ends up just being incredibly tedious. If, like...
that being said, we both kind of liked Persona 4.
Yeah, but Persona 4, especially, it never really made it back.
Hey, the dude whose wedding ring you stole.
Yeah. I don't know, should I hand it over?
Do not give him that wedding ring.
Alright.
Alright, accept it. Now you gotta give it back to him. I'll extort you. Oh, you mean this wedding ring? Problem solved. Yeah, look, you don't have to tell us about it. The tutorial crammed it down our throats. Alright, I was about to make a rape commentary, but with the butcher's women comment I made earlier today, I feel like I don't want to convince our viewers that I'm a serial killer this early in the game. Eventually it's going to happen because apparently I just have that serial killer vibe. But, I don't want to tip my hat just yet.
Alright.
But yeah. Okay, so you were saying about Persona 4 before we read it.
Oh, yes. Alright, well, okay, discover...
Oh, okay,
so yeah,
alright, so we sort of, already knew this, but now the tutorial has to smash us with it like a bat.
Yeah. So, I will say that overall, Persona 4, never forced you to backtrack. There were points in time, especially as you got more and more powerful, if you were trying to find, let's say, a particular item and it was a little bit difficult to find, you could sort of auto-attack. There was rush, there was the fact that you can,
I don't know who Vangari is, but I have instantly fallen in love with him. Oh, hey, I guess he lives in Williamsburg with that mustache.
Sorry, sir. It's just that we were trying to go as fast as we could.
I'm also liking the music.
But it's impossible to get back to the military district in only 40
Is that a... Oh, I sense a subquest that involves running. Rah, rah, rah! Alright, so you can't see me doing that right now, but I'm totally doing that arm thrust because that indicates that I am angry and have a mustache.
Stick your back into it, maggots! Move it!
I am gesturing with my hands!
Back to the military district, double time! Then I want
Yeah.
a million press-ups from both of you, and you better not stop until your biceps explode! Colonel, we can't move the artillery. What? You better give a damn good reason.
It's not on wheels, sir.
Sir, the impact of the crash damaged the ether conduction
Oh,
cable.
okay, well that's clearly a technical explanation.
Now the cylinder is empty. Well, change the cylinder then. Can't you even do something?
Rah, rah, rah!
The auxiliary cylinders have all been used up. It'll be 3 days until more come in, sir. I told you to keep a stock of fuel in reserve. Sorry, sir. You're nothing but slackers.
Wasn't expecting that one.
I like how they did the gory discretion shot there where he has to look away from the beating that this guy's receiving. It's like, oh god, he's killing him.
Alright.
Alright, so, okay, now that we got that out of the way, I believe we are done with this episode for now. We're getting about 10 minutes, between 10 and 15 minutes per episode. These aren't necessarily going to go in order since we're going to play more games. We're going to play a bunch of games, so, but in case you can't tell, Xenoblade Chronicles is one of our first, so if the making is a little choppy, so be it. But, alright, I believe we are ending our episode this time, and next time on Monday Morning Mooks, we are going to stand over the battered corpse of an NPC.